I mean, we can't go straight from the barbershop. Then we'll kill to a crew. Can't go straight from the world.
Good evening. It's spring again. Everybody knows it's spring again. To the girls and boys and the people above, this is the time to fall in love. Welcome to Barbershop, talking random-ish. I am your master barber, Mr. Rick Kane. Y'all know what this is. This ain't nothing but some good old-fashioned barbershop style conversation. In this barbershop, no conversation is taboo. We have a one rule and one rule only, and that rule is say what you mean. Mean what you say, just don't be mean when you say it. Thank y'all for having us. We took last week off. I don't know why, I can't remember why, but we did. Barbershop was closed, but we are glad to be back in MEU Radio, Athens, Georgia. Thank you, Mr. Rick Dunn, for allowing us to be in this space, for allowing us to do our thing. Thank you for the many years of the things that you have done in this here community. We thank you, we thank you, we thank you. And I promise you the second half of the show, I will have that where you can make sure you're doing your part by giving back to Mr. Dunn and the great work he is doing here at MEU Radio Athens, so that it can continue to go on. Because y'all know things are getting more expensive to make sure things go on, and we need your help. He needs your help. We need your help to keep moving, to keep giving back to the community, to keep giving young people an outlet, a place to go, to do things that, who knows? Please, 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 please. And also, talking random-ish, we looking for some monies. Anybody that want to come through and join the board and jump aboard and become partners in crime with what we do, holla at your boy, holla at your folk. We got Mr. Scalper himself is in the building. Seat number 1. Well, I don't know what seat he in. He just doing what he wanted to do tonight. I guess this is random. What's good with you, my boy?
What up? What up? Let's go. Go time.
Okay, we got the master poet himself. That boy showed me some beautiful things just a few minutes ago, man. He got big things coming. Legend, how you doing?
Oh man, doing good. Ready to go.
Well, we found out our long lost brother. He was out there. He was on the side of the road. Had a truck full of packages, an old brown truck. We decided to pick him up and let him ride with us. He said his name was Sam, but he soon showed me he was back to old Slim Fit, the sensitive himself. Oh, what can Brown do for you? What's good with you, my boy?
Boy, those Tupperware bowls are clean.
I had to wash them. They had to be washed. Boy, Lord have mercy.
Okay.
Lord have mercy. Hey, man, this show is called Talking Random-ish. And I got some random-ish before we get to the actual factuals of what we here for. Today is March 20th, the first day of spring. First of all, I need to shout out a few people. T2, happy birthday, young man.
Okay.
Today is his birthday. Yesterday, I need to shout out my first young man, Terrell. Happy birthday.
All right.
Also today, this music that we listen to, that we vibing to, Mr. Demond Matters. Today is his birthday. So I know we don't do birthday, and I ain't finna tell you I'm gonna remember to do nobody's birthdays often. But these are some special people in our lives that I definitely had to come in and give them let them know that we thinking about them. If ain't that but for a few minutes.
Shout out to to Deshaun Thomas too. Her birthday was yesterday.
That's right. Deshaun's birthday was yesterday. Yes, it was. I did see that.
I didn't realize they had the same birthday.
Yeah, her and Terrell. Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right.
But I woke up this morning. This is how this started, and I was spring. Spring had sprung. I woke up with that's what my wife did. She did the same thing you just did, Lee. She was like, "Who is this guy?" Cause I ain't about that morning action. And so I got up and
What? Hold on, but you ain't about the morning action.
I ain't about getting up in the morning.
Oh, okay.
I ain't about
I think you said you about that morning
I ain't
action.
about getting up in the morning.
The way you say that, hold on, bro. Oh, we went in the wrong road. You took us in the whole other place.
Sorry.
You reconsider that.
Right. Sorry. I am not. I wish my day started around 10. 9 at the earliest. 12 would be absolutely great.
Good 3 o'clock.
If I could wake up about 12, go to work at about 1, get off about 3. That sounds like a great, complete day to me.
For sure.
You know, but somebody say I ain't found that job yet. You know, I ain't found it, so I got to get up when they tell me to and be there when they tell me to. But this morning, for some reason, I had some joy in my spirit, and the old folk would say, had some joy in my spirit. So I got to thinking, why is today not the new year? What do I mean by that? I see that look. Because spring is the beginning of life. Spring is when the trees start to blossom, flowers start to bloom. I know pollen get in your hair, but spring is the season of rebirth. Winter is the season of death. Things go to die. The trees, all the leaves and stuff fall. When in the beginning of fall to winter, all the leaves fall off the trees. Your beautiful flowers. And it's an old proverb. I got this from Sanford and Son. So I'm not sure if I mess this up. When Lamont was trying to go back to Africa, and the lady told him that he was making Fred's season of winter because how did he say it? But the season of winter is when your elders are going on the downside. They got more years behind them than they got in front of them. So I began to think, and I done been around a lot of woke folks who I wish would sleep. And that was one of the, I guess, meaningful conversations I ever had with a woke person. And I was wondering, why do we celebrate New Year's on January and not March the 20th? I mean, just some of the things I be thinking about sometimes.
Cause we recognize the Roman calendar.
See, that's why I posed this question in this arena. Because I knew somebody had an answer.
Larry, you could have answered that 5 minutes ago.
I was waiting on him to fit.
Oh, okay. He was going pretty long.
I didn't know when he was going to stop. So I didn't want to jump in there and just cut him off. So, you know,
so he worked on that. So we gotta let him get that.
I hate to let him get it out.
You can't just cut him off.
We were
right?
trying to get the self and the
Let him get
son
to it.
reference and everything. I had to let him get it out. I had to let him get it out.
I hear some jokes.
Queued up.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all ain't know Kevin Hart laugh network. Y'all got joking joke. But go ahead. Please break that down too.
But you know, we recognize the Roman calendar, so everything we celebrate on this side of the globe isn't necessarily lined up with the seasons the way you think it would be. So our spring, the first day of spring, March 20th, it wouldn't align with being the first day of the year because we're not on a calendar that aligns that way. Right. You have to think when the calendar came into conception, I ain't gonna say there was no people here. There were people here that had their own calendar. Mm-hmm. There were people that had their own way of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
And
the indigenous people.
The indigenous people.
Okay. Before it was stolen.
Correct.
Oh.
So when the others came over and they established everything they established here, they brought their calendar with them. So that's why we do what we do. Because it's just from what they brought with them. That's all it is. Everything we've done, as the union say, is past practices.
Okay. I mean, that's what I woke up with this morning. I mean,
well, you woke up kind of deep this morning. You were foggy this morning when you woke up. You were foggy this morning. But I did appreciate that Bismarck Spring again. That's a classic.
Well, had this been the old podcast in Atlanta, you know that with a song that's been played today.
Yes, sir.
And then I'll have to worry about if I can play it on YouTube.
Yes,
and so,
sir. Yes,
yeah, but I was like, man.
Yes,
and I got my spring shirt. The only shirt I got for spring, I got to figure out find me a new shirt for spring because I wore this one for the recycle, so I got to figure out another spring shirt. But I was just like, man, why? And I be dog. The coldest day of the damn week. Yeah. I mean, it was 70-some degrees yesterday. All springish.
Better tonight though.
So I have to use another Fred reference. I might have to put my long drawers on this evening, boy. Because it's gonna definitely be cold.
Yes, yes, sir.
Y'all know how we do. But tonight we got a couple special guests in the building. March, we celebrate two different things. March is it's National Women's Month, but it is also Social Work Month. And I think I kind of got it covered tonight. I tried it. It's because tonight we got two family members that are in the building. So y'all know how we do. We ain't got no bios. We won't read no bios around here. So as we like to do, who are you, and why are you in my barbershop?
Well, I'm Ymmilia. A lot of people in the community knows me as Pooh. I am here to talk about social work and the importance of what I do, basically. I was invited, had a privilege to be here. It's a good day, and I'm with you on that spring. Spring was yesterday when it was warm.
Right.
We had the nerve to turn off our heat, and I was like, no, we didn't turn it off way too soon. So, yeah, I'm just here to talk about social work. I am someone who works at Advantage Behavioral Health. I've been there about 2-3 years now. I currently work as the Discharge Coordinator on the Crisis Unit, which is a 24/7 everyday process, basically. Yes. I'm also a Master's of Social Work Master of Social Work student at UGA. I do my internship at Advantage as well. So, stepping into the clinical role, talking to clients, trying to make sure we start talking about mental health a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay. Question for you there, young man. who are you and why are you once again in my barbershop?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned once again,
Yes,
because
sir.
I'm super excited to be here for a second time and for what that actually means, which it's another step closer to being invited to the cookout.
That was all
I come here a few more times, I'll be doing the cooking.
Yes, hey.
All right.
Not so fast, my friend.
Bit much. I was kind of projecting my intentions there. So, no, I am also a social worker, and as you guys know, a former Marine, or we don't usually use that anymore. We're always a Marine.
Always a Marine.
Yes, sir.
Right.
So, yeah, I do a lot in social work. It just brings me a lot of joy. It's been the best thing I've ever done, to include my military service, to be honest with you. I enjoyed it. All of it a building block to get here, but I did some teaching for a while, and that wasn't it. And so I decided to go into social work, and that's just been wonderful. Working with a lot of kids, a lot of grown-ups, parents, couples. Also, as you guys know, I work for the VA, and so I work with homeless veterans, and I do the overnight shift as a mobile crisis team supervisor, going out, and we used to go out and do assessments, and a lot of people, if they can't be safe, we end up sending them over to Advantage over there where Pooh is. So it's really good work, and I enjoy doing it, and I'm happy to be here.
Once again, we are happy that you are here because when I was thinking about this and putting it together, I was like, who else? Then I was like, hold up. I said, because I'm racking my head trying to say, Denny is, and he said, right down your call, social. I said, bam, I had to reach out. So when I reached out, you didn't answer back. Then went to therapy Monday. My therapist sent you a message. I was like, man, I'm trying to get Denny back in. So when he sent, and I was like, yes. From 2004 to like 2006 or 7, I worked in a group home. I ran a group home. So that was my first real introduction to social workers. Now, mind you, we got beef. Because I run a group home. I got 6 kids that y'all have sent to me. And we have beef because I feel that y'all make my job hard. And let me tell you what I mean by that. When I get these kids who are in between the ages of 12 and 16, they come in knowing all the rules. Because if nothing else, they're going to get on the phone. When they get mad with me, they call their social worker. They get on the phone with the social worker and ask a million questions to the social worker to get them off the phone. Okay, how I feel that the social worker trying to get them off the phone, they're going to tell them all they can do and what they can't do, and he can't do this to you, and he can't do this. And by the time they get off the phone, now we got a real fight. Because those kids, as much help and much everything they need, they are some of the smartest people you deal with because they learn early how to play the system. And seemingly one of their number one goals is to get me, the house parent, into beef with their social workers. Because if they can get them going back and forth, now we ain't got to work the attention is off them and what they need for a few minutes. So up until then, I had beef with y'all. But once I got to know y'all and got to sit down and realize what y'all did and the number of folders that y'all might have on y'all desk at any given moment, the number of people y'all have to talk to at any given moment, the number of people that's in your office trying to get a placement, trying to get food, trying to get anything, I humbled myself. And so I want to start off this conversation by saying thank you. Thank you, Pooh. Thank you, Denny. Thank you to all the people who work in this field for what y'all do, because y'all don't get paid nearly what y'all deserve to get paid. So I guess my first question to both of y'all is, what is the job of a social worker? And I guess this is coming from the aspect of where you are in social work and maybe different from what you do as a social worker in your field. Go ahead. How do you do? Y'all just talking rapid before we got started. Y'all just.
It is a broad spectrum of services.
Okay.
I would say there's not one. I can't give you one answer of what social work is.
Yeah, it connecting vulnerable people with appropriate resources, and in that case you described, I would like to have seen some more collaboration to avoid that, right?
Absolutely.
Because, the truth is what people deserve, not being placated and massaged in a way that they get to manipulate the system. A good, experienced social worker knows that, natural consequences and those things while you're loving and providing guidance with empathy and those things. But, sometimes you got to feel the pain for the consequences you have. And it's not our job to bail this person out of their consequences for their choices. And our job is to, collaborate with service providers to be able to close loopholes so we can, make sure that the kid in that case is getting the services they need, but also understanding that, hey, rules are rules and you have to follow those.
Usually, once myself got to actually meet and sit down with the social worker, that normally starts a whole different type relationship. But normally, because I can come to work and now you have a new kid coming into your home.
Yeah.
And so they send me, and the first thing they give me is a file and a kid. So no matter where he come from, the program he might be coming from, and just a file this big. And what I typically like to do, I talk to the kid, try to get to know the kid, and a lot of times in intake, we sometimes got to meet some of the social workers, which made things a little bit better. So now I can get a true description of who this kid is before I read this file.
Before you look at that file.
Yeah, because that file.
This paper.
Oh my God. Some of these kids, some of the things they've been through, it's hard. It's hard. And to me, I would tell either my staff, let's meet the kid before we read the file. Because if you immediately read the file, now you have formed
an opinion
on
about
the kid.
that child.
Yeah. And so that's how it went down. But like I say, once I got to know and get to know the social worker, and normally the relationship got a lot better. But sometimes in the beginning, oh my God. You work at Advantage. What is a day in the life like for you as a social worker over at Advantage?
So I work on the crisis unit, so let's start there. Because the crisis unit is a little bit different. I see people walking in crisis.
Yes.
They're walking in sometime at the worst point of their life. They are walking in a mental health crisis. They're walking in needing detox off of substances. So, when they come to see us at the crisis unit, they are at the worst time. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to interact. At sometimes. So a day in the life at the crisis unit could be different every day. People are going through detox at Advantage. So, people are angry, they're agitated, they don't want to deal with what's going on. They may come in with, everyone comes in with different stories or why they got there. Some come there because they want to, some come there because someone else told them to. So a day in a life at Advantage in the crisis unit, there are days that I go home like, wow, I hear stories, I see people, and there are some days that, we got people placed and, they're going on to different programs and we see people who've come back. So those are the rewarding stories that we see. But the crisis unit is never a dull moment. We interact with a lot of different people. A lot of homeless people come through our facility. Different cultures come to our facility. So, mental health and substance abuse does not discriminate against nobody. So
Absolutely.
It is one of them things that every day at the crisis unit is different,
Do you find that most of the people that come through those doors in crisis are there because they walk through themselves on their own initiative, or they're being sent through the doors due to whatever?
Both. There's both. There's people who walk through, I need help, I want help, what do I need to do? I'm tired of being sick and tired. Then there's people who are forced from the jail to come here. There are people who are forced by family members to come, husbands, wives told them to come. We're gonna get a divorce if we don't. So it's a variety of that. We do have people to come through and say, I wanna be here. And then they get in the unit and they say, I don't wanna be here. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Quickly, next day, I'm done. I don't wanna be here. So that happens a lot,
So I'm sorry to cut you off, but how do you handle that? Because once they're there, is it like you're here so you have to be here a certain amount of time, or is it strictly volunteer if you walk in?
So the crisis unit is a short-term facility. So let's start there. We are only a 5 to 7 day facility. We are typically there to stabilize. Then that means safely detox you or get you back on your mental health meds and figure out what your next placement is. So typically people come in voluntarily, and there's different codes to that. There's 1012 codes, which is voluntary, but then people come in involuntary. We call them 1013s, and those people are there because someone told you had to come here, and some are OTA, order to apprehend. So they went to the judge said, go look for this person, and when you find them, bring them to Advantage, and we get those people. Some are there because my probation officer said I need to be here. So for those people, they come in voluntarily, they want to be there, and they stay there. So it's a variety. It's a variety of people who come there for different reasons, and some are voluntarily, some are not. We have a process called an AMA, Against Medical Advice form. So, they can fill out the form and kind of go through the process of doing that. But it is what it is. It's against medical advice. So you haven't finished your detox. You're not stabilized on your medications, Depending on the situation, everyone is different. We let them go AMA or we don't. So it just every situation is really different. So it's not a doesn't fit, it's not a cookie cutter. Yeah, it's not a cookie cutter situation. Everyone is different on their circumstances, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Denny.
Yeah.
I know you help VA. You what is that kind of like? It entails. Are people coming to you voluntarily for help, or kind of like, or you got a vet that's in the system, in the criminal system, but because he's a vet, this might be an option for him? Are you getting a lot more of those cases, or you get a lot more of people coming to you because it's time to make a change?
No, yeah, I don't get many out of the criminal system. Sometimes we do. We're fine. The VA is fine. Your criminal charges don't matter. Now, we connect veterans with Section 8 housing vouchers, and that can be a hang up depending on if you're a sex offender, the state of Georgia won't allow you to have a housing voucher. It has nothing to do with the VA.
Okay.
So we're kind of like the middleman, if you will, between the veteran who wants a Section 8 housing voucher and the Department of Community Affairs, so that they don't have to wait as long as a typical citizen does. So the Department of Community Affairs will allow us to have around 80 vouchers to give out. So a veteran comes or we find them and I'm homeless, or I'm facing homelessness, or I'm about to get evicted if I don't get my rent straight, and if the landlord's willing to take a Section 8 housing voucher, we'll get the veteran through the application process, and we also partner with some community resources that will pay the deposit, first month rent. Tunnel to Towers, shout out, they do great work for us, and so we deal mostly with veterans who can manage themselves mostly. They do need some kind of help a little bit, but usually it's an income problem, not necessarily a personal care issue. Sometimes the acuity can be where we're not really appropriate, like you can't take care of yourself, so you're going to need a higher level of care. Mm-hmm. And we'll find them resources for that, to include the Georgia War Home if a veteran needs. I've run into that situation where they think they need a housing voucher, and I'll talk to them for a little while. I'm like, no, you need a nursing home, friend. And so we're gonna get you get that application going for you and get you down there. So it's good, because some of the veterans who need this stuff, they don't have any money, they have no income. Some do, some have a little bit of income, so yeah, we're it's a good service to provide. No veteran should be homeless.
Absolutely. Now, what you saying that veteran come to you and there's no income coming in, is there a way to like expedite their a benefit package for them, so they can start maybe getting some disability money coming in?
Okay, you trying to make me laugh today? That you deal with the VA, right?
Yes, sir.
You talking about expedite? I love my VA people. Let's just call it what it is. It's a government agency, and there are procedures. Okay, and that stuff takes time. So
I figure maybe you had a bat phone.
I got no plug. Okay?
You ain't got the plug.
No. It's a process, and the unfortunate thing, like, is veteran will come to me and say, I'm getting evicted tomorrow. And I'm like, brother, man, you could have called me 2 months ago. We can get this moving, but it's going to take several weeks. And unfortunately, we don't have, the VA does not own any transitional housing or sheltered, so we send them to, shout out to Bigger Vision, wonderful community partner. We have, because when you're in despair like that, it's really hard. I mean, you're surviving, so it's hard to, hey, fill this out and go get me that, and I need this, and get me in, and sometimes these veterans don't even have ID. Mm-hmm. So we help them out getting their discharge papers, ED-214, and really just get the application done for them, with them sitting right next to us, so we can get it sent in to the Department of Community Affairs to expedite the situation as much as we can.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a challenge we fall into at the crisis unit. We will get veterans, who come in a crisis. Mm-hmm. And because we're such short term, by the time they are stabilized and are ready to go, the timing of getting them hooked up to someone at the VA is very slim, and we discharge to Bigger Vision Shelter, and then they don't follow up, and then we see them again, and the cycle just continues, and it's hard. It's we have had veterans that come in who don't have money, don't have insurance, those things, and because we're short term, it's hard to connect them in that short window for anything.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, substance use does play a large role in this, and it's very hard, but we've learned to accept people where they are, and you got my card. when you're ready to stop this, let's get you a 90-day placement at the DOM, mental health and drug treatment in Augusta. And sometimes that can be attractive because if you're homeless, like, wait, 90 days, and then you're also going to help me out with housing and maybe employment. Okay, let's do that. And but you know, I can't want you to be housed more than you want to be housed. You know?
So, what are you finding to be your success rate when it comes to a veteran that you know needs some housing, some dry out, and that type of thing? Okay, we got a 90-day program for you to get you clean, to get you some help. What has been, since you've been doing your thing, what have you seen to be like the success rate of that?
Well, actually, it's been pretty good. When I started, we were sitting at about 45 vouchers, and right now we've got all 79 out with people waiting to get on. And fortunately, I've had enough veterans be in this program long enough, I can start discharging them, graduating them, if you will, where they keep their voucher. They just don't need to meet with me to check in on them, you know, that kind of thing. They can just, and you know, they always got my number, that kind of thing. But we can kind of let them, they're proven to be able to go more independently, and so we kind of graduate them and bring more people in. But when you help somebody take care of their very basic needs, you can just see the calm, right? You can hear it in their voice, and I mean, they just kind of relaxed more, and then that helps them. Like, okay, I got a place to live. What can I do about my income? You know, how about, you know, I'm able to get groceries now, and I got a place to store my groceries. I mean, just the things that a lot of us just take for granted, right? The focus, you're right. It helps a lot. And so we've gotten really, really good success in the people who demonstrate because it takes, you have to do some of this, right?
Yes.
We're here and we tell you what we need from you. And when you're motivated to go do it, that shows us, hey, this person's probably going to be successful, you know. Of course, we're not batting 1,000, but we're still trying, you know, we're still at it.
Absolutely. What is a successful day for you? Both of y'all. What is a successful day for you?
Shout out to my beautiful people who work at the Department of Community Affairs, but a successful day for me is when I'm not screaming at the phone after I hang up with them. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, it's frustrating trying to get the bureaucracy to work with me, right? So it can be frustrating when I'm like, ma'am, I'm reading your policy. You have to accept this application. Well, no, because I don't have this. I'm like, according to your own policy, you don't need that. You know, it's just been, that has been a real frustration. But when we can get the things moving and I get the stuff in, and my other social workers that work with me are out seeing veterans, and then, I mean, we really are enjoying the work, right? Like when we see the success, and we go out and meet with veterans on a weekly, monthly, depending on what level they're at, and they're proud of their homes. You walk in, just so proud of what we've helped them obtain. It's really incredible, man. I mean, it might be a third-hand couch, but like, come on in, I got a couch now, have a seat, you know. It's just really good. That brings me a lot of joy to see that. And in my crisis work, because you remember I do the crisis thing too, just wanted to point that out. Behavioral Health Link, which we're gonna come after you once you graduate. All right, I got a spot for you over there, Pooh. We on kind of bouncing off of what she does. Someone is in crisis and they call 988 or they call the Georgia Crisis Access Line. We go out as a team, and we will do an assessment for those who are willing to do the assessment. And if we show up and they want us to leave, we have to leave, unless they are like in the middle of threatening to kill themselves or kill other people and that kind of thing. So we'll go out, do an assessment, determine whether that person just needs some resources. We'll do a safety plan, work with the family a little bit, or if they are indeed I'm really feeling unsafe, and I really do. I'm 4 out of 5 and wanting to kill myself. Well, then we'll involuntarily hospitalize that person to get them the services they need, keep them safe, and those things. So one of the misconceptions out there is that my loved one is crazy. Come get this person and take him to the hospital. Well, your loved one is allowed to be crazy. They just can't be crazy and dangerous, right? So you can work for the CIA. I work for the CIA. I work for Joe Biden. I had a guy tell me that. And I'm like, all right, what's your role? You know, it's like, well, I just protect the president. I said, okay, great. What else do you do? Well, I got this kill list and my neighbor, right? I was like, well, okay, we're going to the hospital. You're allowed to work for the CIA, but you're not allowed to have a kill list.
Okay.
So those kind of things. And that's really good work, getting people, meeting them at their worst, you know, and being able to encourage them and let them know that they have purpose here. They have loved ones who would, you know, really miss them. And, you know, with suicide, it's so impulsive. And if we can separate the person from the method for even a small amount of time, right? By the time they get to the method, they've kind of changed their mind, you know. So it's really important work. It's so satisfying. And I can't wait to recruit Pooh to join our team when she graduates. And
I hope no one from Advantage is listening right now.
Okay.
We better
Use it for bargaining.
Sound like it's a beautiful problem.
You got a bargaining shit.
And you got it on MPV.
Yeah.
MP3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I want to make
MP3.
sure she catches that one.
Sorry, say it again. Say it again.
We pay better.
We'll talk after this.
So, Pooh, quickly, what is a successful day for you?
I would say a successful day for us on the crisis unit. Someone walks in, crisis, can't talk to them. By the time they leave, you can have a full conversation with them, you can assess them, and they're going to some kind of longer term program.
Right.
That is a successful day for us.
Mm-hmm.
Or we have maybe homeless clients who don't have a place to go, and we have to call into Bigger Vision every day. It's a process. You got to call in. Yesterday we had 3 people. If we can get all 3 of them people placed that night in Bigger Vision, it was a successful day.
That's a lottery, man.
Yeah, and it is a lottery. You got to call at 4 o'clock. You got to be on the dot. You got to get their name in, and they only have like 30 beds.
Yeah.
So when we get people into Bigger Vision for the day, it was a good day.
Is it Bigger Vision? Where is that?
It's downtown off of North Avenue. It's one of the only homeless shelters we have in Athens.
Which is really wild that Athens only has one homeless shelter, you know.
The Salvation Army's been under construction since last year. They're getting ready to open up March 31st, just with women's right now. But we only have them too, and they have been out of commission for.
They've been out of commission for a long time.
Yeah.
We me and wifey, we actually with the Recreation Church, we went and volunteered. And fed them dinner.
Bigger Vision?
Bigger Vision,
Yeah.
yes. And it was absolutely one of the most. That's what I'd rather do with my holiday season. Just seeing these people come in and you got a guy who looks like he gets up and go to work every day. You got a lady who with her kid, and they look, you know, this like they're trying to just make it through this so they can get to the next step. And then you have those who are regulars, just trying to beat that. And I think it was getting ready to be cold when we did this. I think it's during the Christmas season, so they was actually getting ready to make, because I guess after a certain time they make so many people, but if its temperature drops to a certain level, they'll let a few more people. Yeah. And sorry. And I guess we get back on time, you know. But so, and like I say, it was one of the most gratifying things I have ever done, and it was.
We did that this year. I go to Athens Church and then a small group, and we did that. It's a humbling experience to be able to serve in that capacity. another good thing we have is partners who are donating like clothes, blankets,
Yeah.
furniture. Shout out to my wife who's letting me store all this furniture in my basement. So one of the most rewarding things I was able to do this year, the night that the ice storm was coming, was to be able to drive around Athens and give out blankets to people. And that was, very humbling, rewarding experience. People were so appreciative, and of course, and just really, I think the stigma out there regarding homeless people, can
lazy.
sometimes be bad, but really, man, the super nice people. I've never. Okay, I had one bad experience, but it was with a veteran who was like, I won't even talk about it. I don't know what his issue was. He really mad that I was trying to help him. But yeah, no, most people have been super, welcoming, inviting, and appreciative of the help we try and give them. So,
And homelessness, the cause of homelessness, it's a wide range. Like you said, you see the family, the woman who looks like she's working. A paycheck away from being homeless.
Yeah.
It's
sure.
literally that way.
yeah, you're one or two life events, man. I mean,
You can change your life
yes,
just like that.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Right. So I agree. It don't have a whole lot to do with just being lazy.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Just like circumstances and situations really play a big part in that. For the most part,
Yeah, like I said, to sit down and just have some conversation and just watch these people when you coming to them and asking them, would you like something, or telling them thank you, and just, it's just, to me, making anybody feel like you are somebody, that to me is priceless. And that is why, that's one of the biggest reasons why Talking Randomish exists, because we are in the business of helping our community. And if there's anything, I promise you, Denny, that after this, I want to be in touch so we can figure out how I myself, me and my wife, me and the team of Talking Randomish can help if whatever day.
Yeah, that's great, man. I can tell this is a real ministry for you guys, just like, and I think Pooh would agree that, social work is a real ministry for most people in the field. It just really is. I've embraced it, and it has rewarded me so well. Which brings me to this myth about social workers not making money. Okay. That's not true. Okay. Now, if you are a social worker, if you're fully licensed and you are broke, that is a choice you're making. And I ain't judging. Okay. But the money is out there. Trust me.
Okay.
It is out there. So,
Okay.
I want to encourage more people to consider social work as a profession. It is not a call to be impoverished the rest of your life. Again, you can work in places that have a wonderful ministry and they don't pay a whole lot, and nonprofits, and there is work there for that. And God love all the people that are doing that. I got 6 kids. Okay, I can't do that. I gotta go find the money. And you can help people and be rewarded in that way, and also make a pretty darn good living. So, just know that, future social work students.
All right, well, let's take a break. We take a few minutes, go run to the bathroom and take care of some things, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna further this conversation, because I just had a conversation this week about some things, and I want to get your opinion on it, especially with you being in the VA. So,
Sure.
Y'all stay tuned. We will be right back.
All right.
Well, you put it on ice cream for a minute, man.
Boy, that my wife looked at me like, no, baby, they look shit. I don't know what she put it on.
My fingertip was cold.
I thought it was just me.
I got frostbite on me.
I lost a lot of weight. I thought, man, I'm getting cold in here. I lost
I
weight.
was getting chilly too.
No, baby, you put it on frosted.
I swear I did. I just turned it on. It was on 70.
It's cold out though. Yeah, so you're 47 outside.
I know, man. Frost warning on the first day of spring.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Y'all remember in 09 when it snowed 8 inches on March 1st?
Absolutely.
I'll never forget that, man. I was working, I was teaching at Rutland Academy. And
What
went
was
on
you at Rutland?
08 to 010, 2010.
Do you know a Gwendolyn Porter?
Oh, I know Gwendolyn Porter.
It's
Yeah.
my mother.
Is that? Shut your mouth. Are you serious?
That is my mother.
Golly, how's she doing?
She's good.
Oh, thank God. I was hoping you wouldn't go see her.
No. My mama.
Oh my gosh,
That is
man.
my mother. Yeah.
Awesome. What's she doing these days?
Retired.
Yeah?
Just retired. Yes.
Man,
She is retired.
that's old school Rutland folks right
Yes.
there, man.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah, I loved her, man. She's great. And I was brand new. I mean, I stepped out of the Marine Corps right over there.
Wow.
Here's the grade book. I'm like, all right, I don't even, okay. You know, and I learned real quick that those kids will hurt you. I got bit third day. Kid bit me right here. He said he was going to bite me, and by God, he did. And,
That's the thing.
and I remember going to an IEP meeting. I was a teacher, you know, they're like, okay, Mr. Pettway, go ahead with the IEP. I'm like, what is that? I had no idea. It was embarrassing to the school because they had the parent up there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, I don't know what an IEP is. You
What
know,
school did you teach at?
I taught at Rutland for a while.
You said that.
I was at, well, eventually I got my master's in special education.
Okay.
I got my ED.S. And right after finishing my ED.S, I looked at my wife and said, I don't want to teach no more. I think I want to be a social worker. She said, well, go ahead then.
Yeah.
Well, actually, what I told her was, I don't know though, because I'll be 50 when I graduate.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, you're going to be 50 anyway. You might as well be doing something you like to do.
Absolutely.
And that was her giving me the green light,
Yeah.
you know. So, but yeah, and then I taught it. I did self-contained behavior at Timothy Road, and then at Winterville. And then I taught at J.J.